it going, everyone? Tim here, TRD Adventures, coming at you a little week, little project we're going to be working on this week. I'm going to be doing a new build with the GSPEED Aluminum V3 rails that just dropped last Friday. Got those, got 2 sets ordered. Both of them showed up yesterday. Rest of the parts, I believe, are here, almost here, but I have enough that I can get the build started. So we're going to go through here, do a full build. I'm probably going to, I'm going to break this down over a couple different videos, a couple shorter videos to keep the length down. So the first video will probably just be general chassis assembly with links and axles. And then next one, we're going to do some electronics and getting all that stuff set up. So what do we got here? What do we got? So again, these are aluminum V3 GSPEED chassis. So we have that. We have 3D printed SCX style skid here. We have the GSPEED V3 sliders. We rock in GSPEED lay down servo mount. The GSPEED multi-point Panhard Mount here. We have a few GSPEED square spacers. We have some high clearance links that I will assemble. Get those knocked out real quick. We're going to be using on this one, we're going to be using a axial 3-gear transmission with the correct Carbon Works forward motor mount. And then, big thing, axles and shocks. We are going to use, again, SCX 10.3 straight axle kit here. And I am going to use these shocks out of this kit. I have one more component that is on the way. Hopefully it'll be here. I think it's scheduled within a day or so. Cool little kit from In the Works RC to mod these shocks. So video I made, just install them how they are, and then we'll do another video on the mod itself. So other than the straight axle kit, I went ahead and picked up a Trio brass front diff cover because I really like it on my other one. Electronics, we're gonna go with a 3 Brothers RC G11 Servo. We got the power adapter there. And electronic wise, right now what I got laying around, we have a Mamba Micro X ESC with a 2850 Slate KV motor, or here wheels and tires. Some Boom Racing Pro builds. We got these built blue barrel with a neochrome faceplate, new little style in there, and some Voodoo KLR M's in reds. Foams for the fronts will be air down foam in the front, and the rear will have a white dot halo foam. So let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start with checking the axles for grease. They were a little low there, nothing too crazy. So greased them up just a little bit more. Getting the Trio diff cover installed there real quick. And then also what I'm gonna do here is switching the, what is the drag link that comes with it to the Panhard. It is a better length for the setup than the Panhard. Next here, we're starting with putting the lower links in the skid. Make sure you have your skid orientated the correct direction where your transmission is mounted. That way you get your front and rear lower links in the correct position, just using the set screws, running them through, getting them all set up there. All nice and good. Next up here, we're going to start getting the rails. And one thing on the rails is the slot is the left-hand side. The slot is where the Panhard is going to go. So I just started running through here, bolt through the slider, getting them bolted up through the frame rails, getting them all attached all nicely, snugging them down by hand. Next up here, getting the axles attached. So started with getting the lower links attached here, starting with the rear axle, then working on upper links. And then where I'm mounting these, I'm using the top row. I'm using the second hole from the transmission on the top row. Little bolt through there, nut, get them all snugged down nice and good there. Make sure everything's good. Moving to the front axle, again starting with the lower links here, getting them attached. And then for the third link, getting it attached right here, and then it's going to go in the single front link slot there, through the slider, get it all in there, nut, bolt, make sure everything moves freely. Make sure you don't have anything binding. Next up, servo mount. Here I'm using the lay down servo mount. I'm going to slow the speed down a little bit. This is a very common question seeing here a lot, is you see how I pinch it right there. Because the servo mount is narrower than the skid, you will pinch it in a little bit. So what I do is I start diagonally, just working corner to corner and slowly bring it all together in. The three, both rear corners and then the right hand front. And then it is time for the Panhard. And then 2 bolts there. One goes right there in the front there, and the other one's going to be in the slot. So, like I said, it will pinch. I know that's a common question on, you know, how narrow it is, but it will pinch no matter the material. Next here, just getting the shocks installed, front and rear. I did actually install them upside down here from what I wanted in the video, so I did flip those around shortly after this. And then right here in the rear, again, it will pinch. I'm going to install a few square spacers here shortly, as soon as we get the shocks molded up. And again, I just get it in, get the spacer in, get it started on each slide, and slowly, you know, pinch in with my hand and get everything tightened. Throw one there in the front. I'll get bumpers shortly after this, but in the meantime, just getting it ready to rock and roll. And still got some other bodies and other stuff to get through first. So there it is, all nice assembled. Chassis part, now electronics. So just gonna throw drive shafts in here real quick, go ahead and get them attached to the pumpkins. And then when I'm mounting the transmission, what I'm doing as well is I'm putting a small spacer in the front of the transmission to angle it up a little bit. Since I'm running a Ford motor mount attached to the 3-gear there, putting a small spacer there to angle the transmission up in the front is going to gain me enough clearance so my motor does not make contact with any of my links at full compression. So that was a very... took me the first time. I was like, oh, what's going on? Then I was like, oh, how about just a small spacer, get some angles right, and make sure my clearance is good. Next, getting the motor in, getting it all bolted up off there, getting the mesh set and everything like that. Next up here is the installing the servo. Go ahead and get the servo in there and your correct orientation. Your horn for the lay down mount needs to be on the left side. Get everything bolted down there. Go ahead and get everything wired up, plugged in. Luckily, with this Ford motor mount design, there's a nice little pocket there for my receiver to just set nice and tucked in there. Little double-sized sticky tape there for the ESC and the receiver. Get everything nice tucked in there. Go ahead and hook the direct power up for that. Some Velcro there on the battery, on the slider for the battery. Getting the controller all hooked up. Make sure the steering is centered. You want to install the horn as vertical, straight up and down as you can. That's where you're going to want to set, especially the lay down mount, get it set up and down as much straight as possible. And now for actually getting the drag link set up, what I'm using right now is just an adjustable tie bar for right now because I forgot to order length. But what you're going to want to do, and a digital caliper gauge is going to help out greatly, you want to find the eye-to-eye length between the servo horn and where it mounts there. And you can just spin the adjustable like a tie bar out to what you need. For the AR-45 straight axle here, my eye-to-eye length is 83 millimeters. And also just with the lay down mount, I found this works pretty easy, especially when you're just getting started, to use the adjustable link. That way you can get everything centered. And then from that, you have a link. You can pull it out, measure it, and then order a specific one-piece link or get one made that will work. And we got everything rocking and rolling. So it is alive. We'll throw some wheels and tires on real quick and show the very finished product. So here we go. We got the wheels and tires put on there. Again, these were the Boom Racing Pro Build wheels. Just having a little fun with some color combinations and everything there. Everything was looking pretty good. You know, just a few adjustments here and there. I said I'll got a video coming as soon as the parts for the shock come in. They're just a day or so out. I'll do a video on the shock mod for the 10.3 shocks here. Get that set up and ready to rock and roll. And then, also, I guess I did forget to mention this. So for the multi-point Panhard mount, for the mount I use with these axles, there are 3. There's one mount here in the front and then 2 here on the rear. I'm using the rear row, the furthest to the outside. That is the mount I use for these axles. Other than that, everything went good there. A little bit of tuning can't remember how I had this tuned the last vehicle I had it in, so hook the old Castle link up, get that tuned. When I do get the body, I just got to pick it up when the local guys had a sweet body that I've been looking for a while. So I'm going to pick that up. I'll do a video on the body again, prepping it, painting it, hopefully with the correct kind of paint this time. And I will get some GSPEED body mounts put on here for the body. So hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, suggestions, anything, questions down below. If I did miss anything, which is very possible that I totally just missed something, let me know down below. We'll try to get you answered and get it taken care of if need be. So in the meantime, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, everyone have a great one and crawl on.